I never know when the camera's going to start. Hey guys, this is Jen McFarland with Women Conquer Business. I thought I would just share with you a few things when I have conversations that all seem to trend in the same direction. It seems like a good time for me to share them with you because you might be having the same conversations and then we can talk about it and we can figure out if we're all kind of trending in the same way. So the things that I've been hearing a lot are kind of around things like capacity and impact. Now, I have to admit, those are my words. Nobody's coming up to me and saying, man, I'm just not feeling the capacity lately. That just wouldn't make any sense, right? A lot of times when we think about capacity, unless you've worked in the nonprofit or public sector, when you think about capacity, you might be thinking about a gallon jug can only hold a gallon of liquid, right? Or a stadium can only hold 50,000 people. In other realms, capacity is actually about the ability to do maximally what it is that you would like to do. It's usually related to impact. So I want to do the maximum that I'm capable of doing to also reach maximum impact. And the impact a lot of times in business is goals. How many people do you want to help? How much money do you want to make? Those are all the impact or the change that you want to make in this world, right? But you only have so many hours in the day and so many resources and so much time, and it limits your impact. And then it makes you kind of crazy, right? So, one of the ways to think about capacity is when you wake up and you're feeling overwhelmed, like you just woke up, you just got out of bed, and you're already feeling overwhelmed, you're already still living the previous day and going through all of the mindset stuff that you want to like accomplish. You're thinking about all of the things that you want to do, maybe all the things that you didn't get done the day before, and you're already overwhelmed and your legs have, your feet haven't even hit the floor yet. That's a capacity problem. And when you are over capacity, when you are at max capacity, it affects your impact. These are two things that are completely interrelated, right? And if you're like me, you have really big goals, but you're always hampered by the capacity that you have. Because as a growing business, you don't have all of the tools that, say, a large company has. And one of the things that I've found in thinking about how to manage projects within the small business sector, if that's its own sector, is how much similar it really is to the development work that I did overseas. Overseas, we had so many unknowns. Like, we had cultural differences, we had people's needs to consider, and then the reality of how much money we had or how little money we had, and then how can we make the most impact given all of the factors around us. And that's pretty much, it's pretty similar to starting your own business, right? Like, you have a really good idea of what it is that you want to do, but there are so many things around you that are unknown. And then you add the layer of the fact that the world is constantly changing. It's very noisy and disruptive. And all of these things seem to add up and they affect our capacity. So, one of the things that you can do to really, I guess, recalibrate so that maybe you don't wake up in the morning already feeling at max capacity is before you go to bed, do what you can to calm your mind and organize your time when you leave work. I would also really encourage you to leave work behind. Put all of your business tasks down and spend time with your family. Take time to recharge and also consider what it is that you want to do tomorrow. Write it down and then put it aside and work on something else. Do something else. Go somewhere. And then your cup is full when you wake up the next day and you can start focusing on the impact that you want to have. Now, in terms of the impact, certainly we can't guarantee that we will reach our maximum impact today or tomorrow or next week. However, one of the things that we can do to really maximize our impact is to realize the resources that we have today and look at it more in terms of, am I using my resources well? Meaning, time, money, and human power, whether you have a staff or not. in regards to your higher level goals or the impact that you want to have in the world. And that means like every day you need to check in with, okay, what am I doing today? Am I doing things that are helping me reach the goal, or am I doing things that are taking me away from, the mountaintop, whatever it is that you want to do? Because every single day you have two choices. You can either be building toward your goals and your maximum impact, all of the people that you want to help, or you're slowly rolling down the hill. Now, everything that you do, it might not have a direct impact. It might not have a direct tie to your goal, but the more that you can be thinking and considering what it's going to take and really looking at everything that you need to do in order to have that maximum impact, boy, the better off you're going to be. And one of the conversations that I had this week was really about, okay, so you want to make tons of money. Great. What does that business look like? And it was really hard for the person to respond to what that business looks like. So, one of the things that I want you to think about is think about your future self. Think about where it is that you want to be. Oftentimes, we think about things like money or the house we want. I challenge you to think about what your business looks like, especially if you're a solopreneur, especially if you are working by yourself and you have a big dream. You say you want to be super rich, right? And you're working on it all by yourself. What I want to challenge you to consider is how much you can do if you stay yourself. Because a lot of us, and I would say myself included, started a business thinking, I don't really want to have a bunch of employees. But then when you weigh that against the impact, or I weigh it against the impact that I'm having in the world, that I want to have in the world, the rubber is meeting the road in terms of hiring people and building more capacity so that I have more time with my family and I can have a bigger impact. So I really want to encourage you to think about these two things because there is really an interplay where capacity and impact overlap with each other. And if these two things are out of balance, boy, you're going to have a lot of challenges on the horizon when it comes to maximizing your potential, when it comes to fulfilling your goals and your dreams, if you're constantly hamstrung and not maybe paying for the services that you need, for the help that you need, for the tools that you need to really achieve the goals. So it requires investing in yourself. It requires working toward and visualizing what those goals are. And then you'll find that you're building more capacity. But you want to make sure that that capacity is in alignment with the impact that you want to have in the world. Because I can tell you, and it has happened to me before, I am working on my business, but it turns out that I'm really just working on my busyness. Yeah, that kind of sucks, doesn't it, right? You have this Trello board or your to-do list, and it's actually a to-don't list. It's all of the things that you think you should be working on. It's all of the things that you think should help you, as opposed to the things that actually are going to help you, right? It's all of the things that maybe scare you a little bit on the inside. It's all of the things that like make your stomach kind of turn into a little knot, right? Because I'll tell you, it's a lot easier. It's always been so much easier to do those things that you're really comfortable with. Always easier. I'm not actually a huge fan of talking publicly sometimes, but I'm really good at it. It ties me up in a little knot, but it's going to help me realize my maximum impact. It's going to help me realize my business dreams and my goals. And it helps me get my voice out there, which is really important. It's one of the values that I have. So don't work on the things that keep you busy. Incorporate a few things into your day that scare you a little. Because if your dreams are big enough, if your goals are big enough, they're a little scary. If you want to make a lot of money and you've never made a lot of money before, that's probably scary, right? So you need to do something every day. You need to be constantly building on that every single day. and checking in with yourself. Like maybe the goal isn't serving you anymore. You can't just make a plan and decide that that's what you're going to do no matter what, especially given all of the things that happen every single day in this world. One of the biggest and best things that you can do is check in with yourself. How am I feeling? Do I still feel filled up by these goals that I've set for myself? I may be building more capacity, but am I building capacity toward my goal? Or is the goal that I set a year ago or 6 months ago or last quarter, does that goal still serve me and my business? Is it still taking me down the road that I want to be on? Or at some point, did I think about it and realize that maybe I want a goal that's just over here? One of the things that I talk about a lot when I'm on the road and speaking is how when a ship is just 1 degree off, it'll land on another continent, right? So when we're talking about change, we just want to make that 1 degree shift because in the long run, that 1 degree shift is going to make the largest impact on your life and on your business. By the same token, if you've made that 1 degree shift and you haven't checked in on all of the things that you're doing to support moving you forward, man, you could be ending up on like a whole different continent in terms of where your business goes. So you want to check in with that and you want to be thinking about how your impact and your capacity are constantly at work because they're constantly there and it's constantly happening. And you have to spend more to make more, and you have to check in with the impact that you're having to make sure that these two things are in alignment. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, hit me up and let me know what you think.